Good thing for me that there's a witness right there. Where? Shut up. I'm allowed wherever I want. Let's go in the haystack. We'll surprise the fuck out of this guy. There we go. And there went my notoriety. That's good. Let's take down a wanted poster just in case, because I want this thing to be 0%, because it is annoying to, you know, constantly look back at your you know, notoriety. Who is gonna look at this? Why is there a balcony? There's only windows up here. I mean, unless you climb through the window, but that's a little cumbersome. Do they just have balconies just because they can? Fucking 1%. What the fuck is wrong with them? Hey, bro, what's up? Alrighty, back on the objective. Sorry about that. I had to stay silent so I could, you know, force that error out of me. Aha, that could be a sex joke. Do you want it to be a sex joke? I don't know how it would work. I mean, unless you're talking about queefing, but, you know. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So we went to the Palazzo to see if we could get any vantage points to where we could get in and then kill the Templar. And we found out there isn't. That thing is very heavily guarded, and not just heavily guarded, it's heavily fortified. It is designed for no one to come in if they're not allowed. So basically, because of Antonio's, you know, scripted analogy, where it's just like, we'd have to be birds to get in there. Or, you know, the only thing that could get in there were birds. And then Ezio was like, where did I last see a bird? Right there. Damn it, it's not gonna work. Where did I last see a bird that was the size of me? Chick-fil-A? No. That was a cow. I feel sorry for that guy. You know, the guy dressed in cow suits flipping the sign.
Does it work? What?
He looks happy on the outside, but on the inside he's like, I'm sweating.
I don't know. It's only a prototype.
No idea.
An idea. It's not ready yet. Have you tried it?
You better get it ready. In 3 days someone would die.
To test it, you'd have to leap off a tower. Who would be mad enough to do a thing like that?
Leonardo?
Just found your man.
I've leaped off at least 15 towers and not died, surprisingly. Well, I died once, but that's a different issue. Wait, you died? Yes. How did you? No reason. No, that does no. Stop it.
So,
I always found it funny, like what I said in like. I can't remember. It was one of the last parts in AC. Not AC. It was one of the last parts in the Sonic Adventure playthrough, but I said, what would happen if the character died, and that's just how the story ended. Like, the first time you die in the most stupid way, that's just how the story went. So what if Ezio leaped off a tower, and then he just, you know, died, and the Templars took over? Well, technically, they'd take over anyway. But I won't spoil what happens. But since you already know the names of some people... Ow! Ow. It's kind of convenient that the tower that is tall enough to get away is on the other side of the map, so that's going to be difficult.
It worked. It really worked. You flew.
I didn't fly. I fought. I fell. With style.
What were you expecting? The machine wasn't designed for distance. Let me go over my plans here.
What the hell does that mean, Leonardo? It was designed to fly, not for distance. Leonardo, the only reason to fly is for distance. That's the whole point. Leonardo's looking about him just like, fuck. You checked and rechecked every, like, in 2 seconds? Jeez. You work fast. That's the weird thing, is that even though they do get these cinematic angles in AC2, apart from AC1, the problem is the sound design seems to be a little bit off. Now, yeah, the sound design seems to be a little bit off, along with that. But there's also the reason that this cinematic angle lacks, you know,
enough to carry
you know, drive, the passion of it. I think it's because, again, of the sound design, because all the motion, excuse me, all the motion is in here, you know, plus or minus a little, you know, sped up segments, where it's just like, oh, do this, blah, 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 it's no hub, oh, wait, I got it, you know, that kind of thing, where it just happened. But the reason is that there's no, I think the reason is, number one, the sound design, the sound effects don't really line up. It's not that they line up, they're not there, so... You can't line up if you're not there. Anyway, so what I mean is that there's no specific fuck. There's no specific songs for each for each cinematic, and that can throw you off because it's just, you know, it's just part of, you know, it's just happening. So there's no cinematic, there's no dramatic drive, and that's the weird thing. So you go through these segments, and then you just realize that it, you know, it's just, you know, oh, boom, too good. All right, you know what? Try it, bro. Wavies, you're dead. Great. Anyway, so I did realize that where the cinematic quality does, you know, apply to sound too. The sound is very important, because I like the different cinematic tracks. Like, imagine if like a movie like, I don't know, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Just imagine that. Imagine if it had like the same droning music you hear in like any sort of, you know, hub world. Imagine that. It lacks the same thing, but since the soundtrack is done amazingly because it's Hans Zimmer and he does everything amazing, since that is the case, the movie feels much more cinematic. You know, it has that dramatic thing. Like, imagine if, I won't say the spoiler, but imagine if at the end the one thing happens and you're just hearing like the fucking Venice hub world music. It's not the same. Alrighty, what do I need to do? I need to clear out that ship. So what are we doing right now? So basically, what's going on? Mission in progress. Mission. Oh, I'm getting on that. I need to move across. This is ridiculous. Vincenzo was dead just an hour ago. Nope, I'm gonna murder you. It kind of sucks because the guards actually talk, unlike in AC1 where they kind of just, you know, don't really do much. But what happens is when the guards talk, they usually talk about their families and their wives, and then it comes to a point where it's just like, oh man, I gotta kill you. That's not good. Alrighty, let's open that shit up. Yay, I cleared the area. Away. Man, that was a wicked jump, Ezio. Nice. Anyway, so what are we doing right now? Basically, since we found the flying device, we do have the actual leverage to go into the place, you know, just flying in there. But the problem comes in, man, that was close. But the problem comes in because, dude, dude, I just tackled him. It was pretty funny. Anyway, so, who is gonna see this? Who's gonna climb on all this shit just to see it? Just climb on it and it's just like, oh man, I recognize that guy. Ford, get down here. No! I gotta look at this more closely. I need to find out who this motherfucker is because I've seen him. I might get a reward. Does that mean you have to climb that big-ass tower, or... He is dead. He is 100% dead. Ow, stop it. Ezio, would you like to well, there went him! That's pretty funny. The thing is, in AC4, the guards actually swim, so throwing him into the water doesn't you know, phase them. It does get them off your back, but it doesn't phase them. So when you're playing, you know, the prior parts where it's like you're dead. You're playing the prior parts where it's just like they fall in and die. Maybe it's because of the armor they're wearing. Maybe they can't swim with it. That is a very good... That's a very good explanation. They can't swim because of the heavy-ass armor. Then again, why could Ezio... Well, then again, Ezio can probably bench press a building. The type of finger strength Ezio has to have is ridiculous to do some of the stuff. And it's kind of funny because it begs the question, you know, with other, like, Mario... I'm gonna get into realistic again. Alright, buckle in. When it comes to stuff like Mario and Sonic, you don't really question the realism, but when it comes to Assassin's Creed, where it strives to be realistic, when the really crazy stuff happens, it is pretty funny. You know, just to sit back and question. It doesn't mean it's bad, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's funny to look at it. Not even funny in, like, a cynical way, because I hate being cynical. Because, you know, I'm just a nice person. I really don't like being cynical, even when I have 100% of the reason to hate something or hate someone. Even I'm just like, all right. It's just I don't. Just here's my philosophy on life. If you this is a really fucked up philosophy. Here's my philosophy. If you just let it happen, it'll go away quickly. You know, in a lot of situations, that's not really the issue. But when it comes to, you know, sitting in traffic and you're close to beating up the person in front of you, you just gotta remember, hey, if I don't do anything, it'll be simpler. I just stopped my mom from murdering a woman the other day. So I went in. So we were waiting to get some food at a fast food restaurant. And, you know, in the drive-thru, and this bitch, you know, the line was pretty long because it was during lunchtime. The line was pretty long, so what happened was, the restaurant, it was kind of in a closed-off corner, so there was this little middle section where it was actually a road. But the line got so long that some people had to sit on the side of that road. Well, it wasn't really a road, it's more of a drive. It wasn't a main road, it was just like, you know, the connecting roads between, like, mall stuff. That's what I mean. So I had to sit on the side, you know, to let people through. Because, you know, I hate when that happens when I'm driving and it's just like, oh, here's a line. Great, I'm gonna be late. Fucking great. But this bitch... This fucking... the line wasn't going anyway. It's probably because of... I don't know. Oh, my God. That line actually made me mad. I was really, really mad about that. How do I lose poison? Oh, I got a new pouch. That's why. It made me so mad. It's because the front was not moving at all. And it was pissing me off. It was probably because of a freaking, probably illegal immigrant Mexican mother and her 8 children being shoved in the back of the car. I'm going to be debating for a while whether or not to censor that. That was horrible. I did say that while I was there. But anyway, this woman went down the road, and I thought she was trying to get past because it was kind of blocked off, but not really. You could still fit a car through there, especially the car of her size. But no, she cut right through. She cut about 4 people. And I was mad. I was real mad. I wasn't going to do anything about it because I'm a pussy. But again, it was one of those things where just like, just let it happen. Life is less complicated like that. So I didn't see anything, but I heard the seatbelt unclick. Then I turned, and my mother's hand was on the door handle, and immediately I pointed at her and went, "No!" She was gonna kill that woman. Jeez. Anyway, back to the mission. I have been running around for literally no reason. I'm sorry, guys, but, you know, it just happens. You know, you just sit back and relax. Like, I usually do the Let's Plays on this little chair, on my computer chair. I'm using it right now to, you know, hoist my laptop up so, you know, it can connect to the AverMedia. and I have an ample view of it so I can see how the recording's going. He ran across that boat really fast. But in usual circumstances, well, those guards are much more observant about, doing the right thing. Unfortunately, they're not very observant of not dying.